It was a case that gripped the nation and left investigators baffled. On October 8, 2009, the Jamison family, Bobby, Sherilyn, and their 6-year-old daughter, Madison, disappeared without a trace. There were no signs of struggle, no immediate clues as to where they had gone, and their family truck, found abandoned in the rugged mountains of Oklahoma, only deepened the mystery. Inside the truck was their dog, Maisie, malnourished but alive, waiting for a family that would never return. In a bizarre twist, the truck also contained $32,000 in cash, along with all of the family's belongings, wallets, cell phones, and even a GPS. The family seemed to have left in a hurry, leaving behind everything they would have needed to survive. For years, investigators searched for the Jamisons, but no answers emerged, until 4 years later, when their skeletal remains were found just miles from where the truck had been abandoned. The cause of death? Still a mystery. Bobby Jamison was 44 years old, a man known to be somewhat private, but fiercely protective of his family. His wife, Sherilyn, was 40, a woman described by friends and family as passionate, though she had struggled with bouts of depression. Together with their daughter, Madison, the family had recently been searching for a new start, looking into purchasing a plot of land in the remote mountains of Oklahoma. But what should have been a hopeful time for the family turned into one of the most chilling mysteries in recent history. What could have possibly happened to this family? Why would they leave their truck and belongings behind? And how could their bodies have ended up so close to the truck, yet remained undiscovered for years? As we dive deeper into this story, we'll explore the strange circumstances surrounding the Jamisons' disappearance and the many unanswered questions that still plague this case. Just a few days after the Jamison family disappeared, their truck was discovered parked on a dirt road in the Sans Bois Mountains, about an hour's drive from their home in Eufaula, Oklahoma. When search teams arrived, they found the vehicle locked but abandoned. The scene was eerie. Inside the truck, everything seemed untouched, as if the family had simply stepped out for a moment and never returned. What stood out the most was the presence of the family's dog, Maisie. She had been left inside the truck, malnourished and dehydrated but alive. For animal lovers and investigators alike, the image of the loyal dog waiting for its owners was heartbreaking. But that was just the beginning of the mystery. The truck's contents only added more confusion to the case. In the back seat, investigators found $32,000 in cash, an unusually large sum for a family that had no known reason to carry such an amount. Along with the cash, there were personal items left behind: wallets, ID cards, cell phones, and even a GPS system. Everything was in place, as if the family had no intention of leaving it all behind. The large amount of money raised several questions. Where had it come from? Why would they leave it behind if they had voluntarily left the truck? There were no signs of a struggle or foul play inside the vehicle, leaving investigators puzzled. The keys were still in the ignition, and nothing appeared out of order. It was as if the family had simply vanished into thin air. The immediate area around the truck was searched extensively, but there was no sign of the Jamisons. The question everyone wanted to know was simple: what had caused them to abandon everything and disappear without a trace? As investigators dug deeper into the Jamisons' life, strange details began to emerge, details that only added more mystery to the case. Before the family disappeared, Bobby had confided in his pastor, claiming that he believed his home was haunted. He reportedly said he had seen spirits inside the house, including one that he claimed lived on the roof. It was a bizarre confession, but Bobby seemed genuinely frightened by what he had experienced. Some began to wonder whether these supernatural fears had played a role in the family's decision to venture into the mountains. Was Bobby seeking to escape something, or was this simply a sign of growing paranoia? Adding to the mystery was the fact that Sherilyn had recently purchased a satanic Bible, which led to speculation about whether the family was involved in something occult-related. These strange details left investigators with more questions than answers. One of the most perplexing aspects of the case was the discovery of a security video from the Jamisons' home. In the footage, the family is seen packing their truck, preparing for what seems like a short trip. Sherilyn is captured on video carrying a brown briefcase and placing it into the truck. However, when the truck was found, the briefcase was missing. What was in the briefcase, and why did it disappear along with the family? Additionally, Sherilyn owned a handgun, which was also missing. The gun was never found, adding to the speculation that the family may have encountered something sinister in the mountains. Did someone take the briefcase and gun, or did the family have them when they left the truck? There have been many theories about what happened to the Jamison family. Some believe that the family may have been victims of foul play. Perhaps they were ambushed by someone in the mountains. Others speculate that they may have been involved in illegal activities, such as drug trafficking, which could explain the large amount of cash found in the truck. However, there was no solid evidence to support this theory, and those who knew the family said it seemed unlikely. Another theory is that the family willingly walked away from their truck, either to seek help or to explore the area. But if that were the case, why would they leave behind their money, their dog, and all their belongings? And why did no one find them sooner, if their bodies were located just a few miles from the truck? The case remained frustratingly open, with no definitive answers. It wasn't until November 2013, for years after the Jamison family disappeared, that the mystery took another tragic turn. A group of hunters, hiking through the remote woods less than 3 miles from where the truck had been found, stumbled upon skeletal remains scattered in the underbrush. The remains were identified as those of Bobby, Sherilyn, and Madison Jamison. The discovery shocked the community. How could the bodies have been so close to the truck all these years, yet remain undetected? The rugged terrain and dense woods likely contributed to the difficulty in locating them. But the fact that their remains had been out there for so long only deepened the mystery. Unfortunately, the condition of the bodies after 4 years in the wilderness made it impossible for investigators to determine the exact cause of death. There were no obvious signs of trauma, and the state of decomposition left few clues as to what may have happened. With no clear cause of death, investigators were left to speculate. Were they victims of exposure, or had something more sinister taken place? Despite the discovery of the bodies, many key pieces of the puzzle were still missing. The briefcase that Sherilyn had been seen packing was never recovered, and the missing gun remained unaccounted for. Without these items, investigators were left without crucial evidence that might have explained what happened to the family. The case was reopened after the discovery of the bodies, but no new leads emerged, and the Jamison family mystery remained unsolved. Even after the bodies were discovered, the Jamison family mystery remained one of the most perplexing unsolved cases in Oklahoma's history. Investigators exhausted every possible lead, but with no clear cause of death, no signs of foul play, and no definitive answers, the case eventually went cold. Theories continued to circulate in the true crime community, with some suggesting that the family may have been involved in something illegal, while others believed they had encountered a dangerous individual or group in the mountains. However, without concrete evidence, these theories remained speculative. For the surviving family members and friends of the Jamisons, the lack of closure was devastating. The questions surrounding the family's disappearance and death haunted those who knew them, and the community was left to wonder if they would ever know the full truth. The case also raised awareness of the dangers of rural disappearances and the difficulties that investigators face when dealing with cases in remote areas. The disappearance and death of the Jamison family is a chilling reminder that not all mysteries have easy answers. The strange circumstances surrounding their disappearance, the abandoned truck, the missing briefcase, the unexplained cash, continue to baffle investigators and true crime enthusiasts alike. For those who followed the case, the unanswered questions still loom large. What really happened to Bobby, Sherilyn, and Madison? Why did they end up in the mountains, and how did they meet their end? While the Jamison family case remains unsolved, it highlights the importance of staying vigilant when faced with unresolved mysteries. The smallest clue or new piece of evidence could one day unlock the truth. But for now, the case remains a haunting reminder of how quickly a family can vanish and how difficult it can be to find answers. As we reflect on this case, it's important to remember that mysteries like these are not just stories. They involve real people, real families, and real loss. If you have any information about the Jamison family case, or if you want to help raise awareness about unsolved disappearances, consider sharing this video and discussing the case with others. Together, we can keep the conversation alive and continue the search for answers. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more true crime stories and mysteries.